I played so much Like a Dragon this week that I'm almost like burnt out on it. So I'm not going to stream it this week because of Cyberpunk. So I'm going to stream it next week. That game's incredible, but those games tend to have two endings. There's the ending at the 80% mark, which is like the emotional ending, and then the final is like the wrap up of all the plot elements that they've left hanging. So I got to the emotional end of Like a Dragon, and I was exhausted, and I cried a little bit, and it was incredible. That game's incredible.
Let the record show
see.
that apparently this is the how many Yakuza games have made you cry now?
A lot. Not the first one, and not the second one, and not the third one. I was pretty sad in the fourth one. I did cry a little bit during the fifth one. I regret crying during the sixth one. Boy, do I regret it. Ah!
Okay.
Yakuza 6 has the only example I can think of in any game. Oh my god. So if you go to my tweet about the Smash Brothers thing, underneath it, Foxcade posted that weird baboon with the lipstick, and the dog hates it. The dog is freaking out.
Oh god. Okay, I'm like, what the fuck is happening over there? Sounds like something really bad is happening to Zangief.
He hates it. He's gonna fight that baboon with the lipstick.
Right, that one.
Buddy, hey, it's okay. I clicked away. I clicked away from the baboon.
Was it on the big screen?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was on the TV.
you put it on the big screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. No. He does not return to Monk. He does not want it.
Oh, he does not like Monkey.
No.
That is not. I don't know what I thought was going to happen today, but I sure didn't think that I would discover that my 6-month-old bulldog fucking hates monkeys. Or lipstick?
I'm kind of scared.
He's protecting you. That's really sweet.
God, he is protecting.
He's
My
egg.
I've seen footage of dogs freaking out at the TV when there's the character select screen for whatever for the game where the character charges at the screen, makes the dog panic and freaks out. So it's like, okay, yeah, it thinks a person's running at them. That's fine. This is just a fucking dumb monkey.
Zangief.
Wow.
Zangief, hey.
The new Apex character.
Good job. You protected us.
Okay.
That's real good. All right. Oh my god. So, what else did I do? I was gonna play Project Wingman and Call of the Sea, but I had a horrible migraine, so I didn't play those. I played a little bit of Dragon Quest XI-S.
Just for comparison?
Just for comparison. That is a really frustrating game. That is a really frustrating game. So, there are a million features that game has added.
Well, yeah, you're playing one of the biggest franchises ever that's been quality of life over the course of decades. Like
No. I mean Dragon Quest XI-S in comparison to Dragon Quest XI.
Oh.
Because I had already played DQ11 a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Right. No. That game is the Switch port. It's the version that came out on Switch later with extra content. It has so much extra content, and a lot of them are very nice little quality of lives. So you now have like auto advance on dialogue, which the original version didn't have. There's a million little things you can do with the menus. You can change all sorts of options. There's like a 2D mode. There's all sorts of nice additions, etc. But I don't. Did you hear about like the weird shit about the way this game was released, Bully?
Last thing I heard about Dragon Quest was the Smash character and that witch with the checkerboard clothing.
Okay, so here's the thing. The game came out on the PS4, the Xbox, and the PC like a year or two ago, right? And then they ported that game to the Switch, and because the Switch release was really late, they added lots of extra content, to which people said, "Wait, are you talking about? Wait,
Star
yeah,
Ocean.
you're talking about Star Ocean. You're talking about Star Ocean, the second story.
Doubles down the point. Yeah, no, I
All
don't.
right.
I don't know anything.
So it's the typical Japanese second version of the game has all that extra shit, right? And then everybody who had the PC version or the Xbox version or the PlayStation version, well, can we get that extra stuff? And originally, Square Enix said, nah, probably not. And they said, you know what? Fuck it. You guys can get the fancy version, which also includes like a real orchestrated version of the soundtrack, which was previously only synthesized because of the dickhead war apologist composer of the Dragon Quest series was like, I don't want my fucking music to be in America, kind of stupid shit.
God, yeah, okay, I remember hearing a little bit about that.
You remember?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So it's like it's got the music, it's got
what a
extra
twist!
stuff,
What a fucking plot twist!
A million quality of life features. It's a much better version of the game, except the PC, Xbox, and PlayStation versions are not your version with the new stuff added in. They're the Switch version ported up. So the game looks way worse.
Man, you ever just randomly find out a music composer is just full on crazy racist out of nowhere?
Yeah.
That shit's wild. Not to fucking completely swerve on it, but it's that story.
Yeah, full on like 90-year-old man that you're like, hey, what you guys feel bad about World War II? And he's like, yeah, we didn't go far enough. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna get out of this conversation as fast as I possibly can. You want to talk about Dragon Quest? No. Let's just put the old man in the corner, please.
Hey man, how you feel about Eric Clapton? You like his music?
Don't know who that is.
Oh, really?
Eric Clapton? That sounds familiar.
Layla?
My mom probably listened to Eric Clapton.
Tears in Heaven? You got me on my knees, Layla. Da, da, da.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, right?
What's his
would
deal?
you know my name if you saw me in heaven? Right, that guy?
Yeah.
So soft songs, usually little ballads, overall pretty known.
Oh, here's a nice quote.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that's that guy that makes the soft ballad songs, and it is what it is. And then, he unfortunately lost a son, and you're like, man, that's a sad thing. And then that was the extent of my knowledge and overall awareness of this. And then someone's like, hey, by the way, did you hear what he said to a crowd in England back in the 70s? And I'm like, what did he say? And they're like, not great stuff.
I was gonna read out this embarrassing
quote,
yeah.
And then by all means, though.
I'm good.
How bad?
I read the second half of it. And
How
I'm like, I
bad
don't think
can
I
it
wanna
be?
say any of that. It can be pretty bad.
Like, it can't be that bad. Like, it's just
a
lot of people were not sensitive back in the day, and they kind of said stuff, and it was what it was.
3 instances in this quote of the phrase, get the blanks out, in parentheses of England.
Listen. Everyone had their moments, and they were sometimes taken out of context, and perhaps there's just some depreciated language. So you find out about that, and you go, hey, man, it was a long time ago. What's the big deal? You know?
Anyway. So, yeah, Dragon Quest XI S is a really complicated version of the game because it is mechanically superior, but it is very graphically inferior. And I spent like a little while messing around with like back end. You know when you go to games options and you go into the INI and you just
Do we
write
have
in-
any foreigners in the audience tonight? If so, please put your hands up. So where are you? Well, wherever you are, I think you should all leave. Well, not just leave the hall, leave our country. I don't want you here in my room or in my country. Listen to me, man. I think we should send them all back. Stop Britain from becoming a black colony. Get the foreigners out. Get the wogs out. Get the coons out. Keep Britain white.
You're very brave to have read that.
And
I am very
you
smart
get it.
for not having read that.
You get it, Eric Clapton. You
Oh,
get it.
man.
It's good. It's good. Do your thing.
I just want to talk about
Speak your truth. Say it with your chest. Say it off your chest. Oh, fuck. Yep. Sorry. It just, that one hit me like, ooh, he's all in. He's in big. So when you brought up the composer.
This was on like a stage. This was
Yeah,
like at an event.
yeah. No, totally. Right on live event. Like not back room recording with someone going, "Oh fuck, what?" Like to the crowd. And yeah, you know, you just kind of go like, "Wow, the fucking Layla guy."
Hey man, as long as we're talking about big stars that do a very big sudden heel turn, I don't think anybody's ever going to beat Liam Neeson ever.
Oh man.
Ever.
Well, hey.
Nothing.
No. Now you hold on. You wait, all right? Liam Neeson he's a fine gentleman, and he was just upset about recent events, so he needed to find himself a black bastard.
So people are saying Mel Gibson, nuh-uh.
He needed to find a black bastard, and that's all he wanted.
That was so people don't know. And so what it was is that a friend of him had been the victim of a crime by a black person. And so Liam Neeson's response as a young man was, I went around to a bunch of bars and started shit in the hopes that I could just kill a black person.
He was looking for some trouble. He was feeling a little bit wayward. And he was looking for a black bastard.
And I think the weirdest thing about that story is that he told it really recently. He told that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, because he was talking about how he confronted his own issues and how he had to come to terms with his feelings one time. So he basically he put that out there himself. He did, and you know, he just let the world know. He let everybody know. And I don't
watch that interview.
Oh, I sure did. And I'm like, there is nothing wrong with letting people know how you feel. Let them know.
There was a really bizarre. The bizarrest moment was not that he casually admitted to, I thought about hanging around for a couple weeks, committing a hate murder against a random person. But he's telling the story in the context of like, well, no one's perfect. Everybody's had their hang-ups in their past. I mean, I, as a youth, briefly attempted to commit a series of hate crimes and was unsuccessful. Everybody's got their stuff, and like that, you watch the interviewer just start to just recede and just like, what? No, that's not true.
Become
that's
a part
not
of the chair. Listen, man. I hear you, and you can say what you want. I fully encourage, endorse, and absolutely support anybody who has those feelings, who has it sitting inside. Just, you gotta get it off. You gotta get it out there. Don't walk around every day pretending that everything's all right. It's therapeutic. Get it out there. You know, and then once you say it, you can breathe, you're lighter, you know, your sinuses get cleared up. Just let it out. Let it out. Let's hear it. Let me hear all of it, baby. Bring it to me. I love it. You know? I mean, yeah, it's the best, you know? Liam Neeson, I'm more than I could have been that black bastard. I could have been that guy, and I would have loved to have heard the opinions. It's, you know. Anyway, let's not discourage
Dragon
people
Quest
from
11S
speaking their truths.
It doesn't look as good, but you can go into the innie and you can turn on better foliage and better anti-aliasing. So if you actually want to do that, I'll just retweet the innie thing that I used. What else? What the fuck else did I do this week? It was mainly like almost all Like a Dragon. Like I played a lot of that game. Yeah, not a whole else. Other than that, I mean, taking care of that stupid dog.
Did you combo break? Did you combo break your explanation of your crying in Yakuza 6?
Maybe I did.
Was that a deliberate move?
No, but I'm in no desire. So, Woolie, let me explain this to you, because you may not have had this happen to you, but I know that you can empathize with the frustration. Imagine, if you will, a story that has a really genuinely fantastic relationship between two characters over a long period of time. And then they sit down and they give like an incredibly well-written, heartfelt like speech or letter. And it's tear-jerky, right? It's really sweet. And you're like,
you don't
oh,
even have
man,
to go into the hard details of it, but you can just say essentially there's a strong moment that gets undone or ruined in some way.
No, we're going to the details.
Okay.
And well, I'm not going to name any names, but and you're like, this is a really sweet send-off to this great relationship. And then you get to the end of the letter and realizing that they're not writing it to the character you thought they were. They were writing it to the worst character in the series that you hate with every fiber of your being.
Oh, okay.
And you realize that the thing that you've been tearing up over because of its like saccharine sweetness and its emotional resonance was actually something that if you knew what was happening at the beginning, you would be screaming at your television that this is the worst thing that ever happened to the story.
Gotcha. Okay.
The game literally tricked me into crying for a character that I despise.
Okay.
And it's that moment that I knew, man, people who make these games are crazy. They are not in touch with humans.
So it's almost as if like a really awful person, a horribly abusive, manipulative, and sexually abusive for that matter, character in a show like Gundam Seed eventually gets blown the fuck up and offed and gets the death that she deserves, but then she gets to come back as a ghost to say, hey, everything's gonna be okay. And there's a nice big slow dramatic ghost message as she gets to fade up into heaven with all the purity that a fucking abusive piece of shit would have.
You know what it is? I'll give everybody an example they can all appreciate. What if Shinji was on the phone and Shinji's on the phone talking to Masato and how thankful he is for all of her support over the years, and how that he has grown as a person and that he will always endeavor to keep them in his heart. And then on the other end of the line, Gendo answers, yeah, man, cool.
Yeah.
And you go, fucking what?
Yeah. Like, so Gundam Seed is a redo of 0079 in a lot of ways. Deliberately so. And you remember Lala?
Yes, I do.
And the impact of that moment with
yes, that ripples the fuck out.
Yeah. So
That's like the cause of most events in Universal Century, if I remember.
imagine if your Lala, like, your good. Imagine if your goodbye Lala scene was replaced with like. I mean.
Oh, fuck it. We don't even need to do this. Go back and watch the end of Living the Dream, the NBA fucking...
No. Yeah,
line.
Vic Van Leer. No, but yeah, Vic Van Leer is that, right? But I was gonna say, imagine if you're fucking watching the scene and Amuro, instead of goodbye Lala, it's fucking goodbye Luca Blight. And Luca's
It really
naked in
It
space.
really made me...
Just going like, oh, it's gonna be okay, man. You know, it's gonna be
made me
good,
laugh a
no
lot
problem.
When you said Die Piggy, that was a good one, Luca.
Yeah, those are the good days. And then the light of heaven opens up, and you know that he's got an afterlife waiting for him. Oh my god. It is, yeah, and Living the Dream actually does that. That is true. That is fucking true. The audacity of giving horrible people a fucking ghost scene to somehow rectify their wrongs, as if, like, that makes a difference when the actions in life were what mattered, you know? Anyway, I can accept, like, I will accept that moment if the main character is hallucinating it, and then their grounded friend slaps the shit out of them and goes, what the fuck are you talking about? That person was awful. They had it coming.
Oh, he was the coolest guy. What is that from?
He was the coolest guy! He was the coolest guy! He was the coolest guy! Obito!
Oh, man.
The coolest guy! The source of fucking... I think they might have counted it at 100,000 bodies in the Great Ninja War. The fucking source of all the problems alongside Madara. The coolest guy! Yeah, right. Yeah. Totally. Anyway, so yeah, another example.
I don't like Yakuza 6 very much. I don't think it's very good.
So another example of a moment in Japan where a character that is otherwise a piece of shit, unforgivable garbage gets some sappy treatment. Got it.
Hey, how you liking Yakuza 0?
So far, fucking excellent. Did you pull it up again? What? No, that's not cool.
I needed to know.
No, stop. Stop it. Now you're bothering Zangief. That's not cool. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not cool. Stop.
You're very brave.
Don't agitate the dog on purpose.
He's protecting us.
If you're putting fucking cucumbers down to fuck up your cat, that shit sucks too. Don't do it.
Oh, you never trolled your dog before?
Don't get him agitated.
He's not agitated. He's protecting me.
Zero so far is pretty good. I think it's a fucking great introduction. Went through the first little bit there. Got a feel for things. And yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying that even with the early limited combat options, they give you a second style to switch to right away, and you start building out that moveset nice and fast. So,
let me guess, you like Rush style?
Of course. But
good.
It doesn't hit very hard.
No, it doesn't.
So that's the thing, right? I love evasive maneuvers, but when the trade-off is damage, you really want to switch back and forth. So I'm probably gonna end up, mixing it up just because damage is important too, But yeah, so that was really good. And in a game where you're gonna be doing a bunch of mini games, a bunch of social stuff and whatnot, you want to make sure that like the combat, which is going to be constant all over the fucking map, is going to be fun too. So that's really rad. The heat system, all of that's cool. Yeah, you know, like so far it's fucking excellent, engaging, and that first part's linear, but it makes sense. It's slowly introducing you to a big world. I would say that like that's a much better way of how to railroad the beginning of a story that is going to open up with its map compared to something like P4. P4's railroad is brutal by relative comparison. You know, like I remember people falling off of that. Like Punch Mom fell off of it and had to re-engage a second time. So that was cool. And yeah, lots of really detailed faces that have very awesome voices. Kuze is a good old piece of shit. Nice hateable name.
There's no series that draws very immaculately detailed, kind of ugly-looking old dudes like the Yakuza series.
And I'm just looking at like what's that dude? I think it's one of the bosses. Maybe the guy who rolls his R's a lot. Is it Awano?
Oh, guy in purple?
Amaro? Yeah. Amano. He's basically the Silvio of the crew. Right? He's the
That dude's a comedian.
Yeah, it's Awano. There we go. Incredible. Like just you're looking at these faces and it's like, man, the lines in detail compared to the NPCs. You guys must be important. Fucking cool. Fucking great. Mr. Shakedown has been shooketh down and handled. I saw that. Second Mr. Shakedown also handled. So that was cool. The rhythm game fucked me up, and then it fucked me up again, but then I got it, but it fucked me up for a good bit, because, like, there's a couple things happening with it that I didn't understand what was going on, and or rather, there's a couple of sub-steps that made it harder for me to, like, just ignore what else was going on and just hit the beat, but, yeah, it was great. It was fucking great.
How's your search for CP going?
My search for Compo is...
Oh, that's your...
is taking a second, but we're getting there. I intend to fully... I got myself some... I want to get my money expansion first, because money equals literal moves alongside everything else. And then... what was the other one? There was another really cool sounding one.
Clothes.
Quick change. Yes, Hitchhiker. Hitchhiker. Let me know. Quick change is the deal. And running without getting out of breath is going to be nice.
Yeah, they took that out in 7, and I was really happy because Jesus Christ, it's annoying in all the games that have it.
Stamina,
which I think is like it's all the games, but it wasn't bad in the first 2.
But like, is it
once they moved to like a more realistic game that was like, oh.
But is it just to have a like, I'm running from these thugs, but then oh no, they caught up to me? Is that all that's for?
No, it's literally movement speed. You do a lot of running.
No, but I mean the limitation on it. Like, what's the point of making him get tired, gameplay wise?
So that. I'm going to say, because when you get tired and have to walk, you can look around at the pretty graphics. Alternatively, well, I mean, it's hard to run for forever. I mean, pick your poison.
Yeah. I was interested in, and I'm interested in seeing how this game develops, you know, the characters that I've heard about and that I'm you know, familiar with through osmosis. But I was quite surprised, or rather, not surprised, but I guess I was like, oh, huh. In that Kiryu, I was like, oh, how is Kiryu going to become the Kiryu that we know and that we see later on? And it's like, he's already that guy. Kiryu's already just Kiryu.
There's a flashback in like Yakuza 1 to like when he's like 15
Oh, there's one in
and
this
he's
too.
and he's like already most of the way there in the
Yeah.
flashback.
Yeah. No, there's no. This is him starting out, and he's already that flavor. He's already the badass. He's already what we're calling affectionately Crime Ryu.
Yeah.
He's Crime Ryu, and there's no other explanation necessary. You know, at some point he was an
grew up in
orphan,
the orphanage,
and then that's that.
uh,
So
his dad loves murder, and he grew up to love his dad but hate murder. Which, you know, Yakuza 1 is actually the least confusing about this. But all of the others are very confusing, and Yakuza 0 might be the most confusing. Which is, okay, you hate murder, and you don't like extorting people, and crime is evil, and a moral lifestyle is imperative, and you would never do anything dishonorable. So why are you a career criminal?
yeah, it's moral within the context of the life I've chosen, and I was kind of wondering if they were gonna go for a thing that's like, hey, you know, this game would never encourage anyone to go out there and be a delinquent that becomes a full-on Yakuza. However, for those of us that have already fallen, this is what we do, and this is how you make the best of the situation. But don't go do it, kids. I kind of was wondering if that's the flavor they were going to go with.
It only got more confusing over time because like you run into literally 100,000 gangsters, into which Kiryu goes, man, you guys are scum. And they're like, we're criminals, dude.
Well,
Like, you know, this real estate scam we have going on, that's a criminal. Like, we're making money via crime.
well, hey, look, Giorno wants to, and Bruno for that matter, wants to fucking clean up the drugs and take care of the old people. Like a real street gang, you know, like a real mafia. So yeah, it's just it's one of those things. It's one of those bits. The flavor of the job or the this is. I mean, it might as well just be like a replace it with Pokemon Master or whatever else, except the flavor happens to be criminal, you know. But but hey, what's a pirate? What's a pirate? By definition.
A pirate is a cool friend that you go on adventures with.
And you make a big old merry group of buddies and you sail the seas and everybody's like, yeah, friendship.
A pirate is just a nakama you haven't met.
Right.
Hey, stop that.
So we're not, you know, like what are we fucking doing here? Like we're a band of roving happy pirates, but you just kind of dismiss the rest of that, you know?
Does the One Piece crew even steal things?
I don't know. You know, you could always be like well, we're going to throw a date out there, but King of Bandits Jing, who
I
is
don't know what you're talking about.
He's an anime and he steals the things. And when he steals the things, there's usually a really good reason for it, or he steals like a concept, you know, instead of stealing an actual physical object. So
you mean like Jojo Lion's stand?
Almost like Soft and Wet. Yeah. And he uses Kier and then he fucking you know, and then he steals the thing.
I
but
gotta
it's stealing
say,
for good.
Woolie, have you kept up with Jojo Leon?
I'm not up to date. No, I'm far from it. But I've restarted and reattempted. I'm working my way back through it.
Because I'm not up to date, but I was blasted a couple weeks ago with what might be the grandest out of context JoJo panel of all time.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know that shit's popping off, which is specifically why I started rereading it, and I don't want to know. So.
It's.
But anyway.
Oh, I gotta read that one day. That shit looks dumb.
The weirdness of Kiryu pursuing this lifestyle, which, even though his peers are probably collecting protection money, I doubt we will ever see him doing so.
Actually, that's literally the first thing you do in Yakuza 1.
In 0, it starts with you collecting money that is owed to a debtor.
Right.
Which is different. That is not
You're
protection
loan
money. A loan shark is, if you're getting the money back from someone, you are getting money that they borrowed that they now owe, versus walking up to a business that has done nothing and taking their money from them.
That's right.
There is a difference morally between the two. I'm not talking about collecting loan shark money. Yeah. I feel as if one has that, like, well, the amount is the amount type of thing that he can get away with thinking in his head, versus walking into a store, just running their business and going, well, now it's time for you to give us what you've earned for nothing.
Yeah.
Yakuza
0 to Yakuza 1 has like a very bizarre feeling to it, because they're actually in time they're like a couple of years apart, but in our time they're like over a decade apart. And even though they're the closest chronological games possible, Kiryu is like the most different between them out of all of them. Because in Yakuza 1 he's actually like less of a saint. Like, that's where Yakuza 1 is where you get the gif of him like smacking Haruka in the face. Like, just kablam to the small child.
Well, his upgrade is clearly going to be the hair. Although I thought it was really dope that he took his shirt off and we saw the tattoo wasn't finished yet. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool detail.
Nice touch.
Hey, there's a fun little Easter egg that you can look at when you see Nishiki. He's been hanging out with you for a while.
Yep, long hair friend. Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of scenes together, and one of the things that you should look out for is that they are not the same height, but there are scenes in which for the scene they have to be the same height. So be aware that they have teleported Nishiki like a foot up.
Okay.
Off the floor.
I mean,
you just can't see them. You can't see under their knees.
Dude, I'm already getting used to 3 budgets of cutscene, of which there is
wild, isn't it?
Full on, then there's like in game, and then there's still animatic with voice acting. Like Ride to Hell shit.
Yeah, it's, It will get to the point. I had this happen in Yakuza 7 just the other night, where a conversation started out in like the text box, and then it moved to like the animatic with voice acting, and then it moved to the expensive cutscene. And I became unironically overwhelmed with anxiety because I was certain that progression meant that someone in the scene was going to die.
Right, okay. Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, you're like, every time a moment like it fades out and into like a higher budget thing, something's going down. Yeah,
something
totally.
very important is going to happen.
The moment you're playing any Persona game and like your in-game conversation is happening and it's stilted, and then suddenly someone goes, oh! And then it fades, and then an anime cutscene starts, it's like, oh shit, this is budget for a reason. Things are going down. Yeah.
Who could it be? And then it like fades out into like a CG or anime cutscene. You're like, oh no, it's going to be them.
Gotcha. Yep.
That
pretty rad so
series
far.
is so fucking weird. Hey, let me ask you, because I didn't look at the clip. Because Yakuza 0 has probably the slowest opening of all of them. But it also has the most definitive end to the prologue, which is totally not killing that guy
Mm-hmm.
by drop
Mm-hmm.
kicking him out that window.
Mm-hmm. I expect that this is supposed to be like a JoJo where they're just not showing us how many weeks he spent in the hospital. That's all you need to do. Is every time someone
Dude,
is
back in the next scene.
anytime someone is in a fatal ass encounter, you just go, yeah, they were in the hospital for the next year, and you're, oh yeah, okay, all right, got it.
That guy is literally just back the next time you see the cutscene.
Oh,
at
fucking
Kuze's
rat
house.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got like bruises, but you're like, you got drop kicked out of a 4th-story window so hard that the guy who drop kicked you almost died.
I would like to see the, like how fucking wrecked people get, or not get for that matter, so that you can be like, that fucking baby stand got off scot-free. Sure, it had to eat the poo-poo, but then at the end of that, it just grows up to still be a super evil baby.
Hey, this might sound a little off topic, but Wooly, do you like the X-Men?
I've been known to like an X-Man or two.
Are you a fan of the Wolverine?
I mean, he is the owner of the X-Men after all. I would
It
have
is
to be
true.
a fan of Wolverine if I like his X-Men.
Do you think that his healing factor is really cool?
I think his healing factor has been used for some cool moments that young Wooly has appreciated, like him in the bathtub.
Then you'll be fine playing these games.
Okay.
Injuries pertain to the scene in which they arrive only.
And as long as you drink a Strongman,
As long
Then
as you
you're-
drink a Staminan X.
Staminan, excuse me, then you'll
Yeah.
be all good. Yeah. Yep. No, it's great. It's great. My hard call. I made a hard call on fucking. I'm just like the silliness that is Mr. Shakedown, then immediately leaning into it where he's like, no, I do want to be the strongest organ. I'm like, you're Jiren. I'm like, you're really just trying to be Jiren.
Oh, did he tell you why he needs money?
Yeah, he needs to work out hard because it's expensive to become the strongest living organism. And I'm like, I literally just cracked a joke about you crossing the ocean punching whales, and here we are.
I don't want to be the strongest man. I need to be the strongest living creature in the world.
And that's that one guy. That's just that guy.
Yeah.
There's other
Yeah,
ones.
that's just that guy. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, it was good. It was good. We'll see. I'm looking forward to getting into Shogi very shortly.
Those games are incredible. They're really something. And
There's an option that's on by default that limits the frame count on cutscenes, and I guess they're going for like a cinematic look, but throwing that shit on just makes them look fucking great.
what version are you playing?
PC.
Okay, I played on the PS4. Didn't have that. I'm not familiar with that option.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, might as well take the fucking car for a drive, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good PC report too.
It's got an option that basically has the expensive cutscenes on like a limited frame rate by default for, I guess, like again like a cinematic look or so. But you throw that shit up or you turn that off and then it fucking looks great. I want to see all the creases in Kuze's face.
You know, just a couple years ago, I was sitting around going, I wish people cared about Yakuza and Monster Hunter, but nobody cares about Yakuza and Monster Hunter. Oh, man.
Look at that.
Oh, that worked out okay.
Yeah. Fucking put biking in that shit. Damn. What a mod.
Oh, they put everything in those games, Wooly.
Yeah, I know, but it's a
stop that.
really good mod. some communities are much more advanced than others. The Monster Hunter modding community, the Dark Souls modding community, fucking through the roof with the quality of what I see people putting in those games. For sure. Yeah, but so that was Yakuza 0.